Hey, beautiful.
Hi,
What's up? You okay?
I'm good. You?
I'm interested to know you. Can you tell me more about yourself?
What about me you wanna know?
One single question that is needed to kickstart any relationship, and most cannot answer it. I use this scenario because the man is normally pursuing the woman, and notice I said pursue and not chased. So who are we? What is our self-identity? Let us get into it.
Who are you?
Who am I? I'm a young man from Marcy Projects who really made the thing that thing that they say the American dream come true. Because I'm not supposed to be here speaking to you. You know, there's a lot of people that come from where I come. There's a lot of skilled people who come from where I come who are not here right now. You know?
You are Jay-Z.
Oh, I thought you meant like who am I? I thought it was a deeper question. My name is Jay-Z. Yes.
For those who did not know, that was multi-platinum rapper Jay-Z answering the question of who he was. And notice the distinction that he made between who he was and what his name was, because he knows the difference, and that was for us to have a better understanding, or for those to have a better understanding of who they are. Because if some persons were on edge when listening to my first podcast, maybe that would shed some light on the matter that I'm trying to speak on. Our names is not who we are. So what is our self-identity? A Google search will tell you that our self-identity is our self-perception of how we see ourselves in relation to our environment and our social responsibilities, and whether we think we're a good person or we're a kind person or stuff. But what if I told you that doesn't encompass it all, or it does not say the full story? Because to be honest, we can all think that we are good persons, but what if we're not all good persons? What if we're just good to the persons that we love? For example, what about a Christian who goes to church every Saturday or Sunday and throws their tithe and their offerings, and they tell everyone and they truly believe that they're a good person, and anyone who is not of their religion will be going to hell because they did not accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. But their neighbors, probably Muslim or a Hindu, will come under attack and will be persecuted because of their religions and how they're being brandished as terrorists. And the Christians who were in their early days persecuted by the Romans will sit and do nothing about it, or don't see anything wrong with it, while this religion is being persecuted, and they were persecuted, so they should have an understanding of what persecution feels like. They refuse to offer any aid because in their thinking they're all going to hell anyway, because they did not accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. So accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior and believing that you're a Christian while neglecting the struggles of your brothers and sisters who do not share the same religion as you, does that make you a good person? Something to think about. The reason why I gave that little scenario was to ask about our self-conception, because when we conceptualize self, we do not look for our flaws, nor the things that we cannot change about ourselves. And those things are a part of ourselves. According to human psychologist Carl Rogers, he states that there are three components of self-concept. It's our ideal self, the self who we want to be, our self-image is who we are now, and our self-esteem. And he says our ideal self is what we strive to be and we see ourselves as. But I disagree. I think our ideal self, or what we think our ideal self is the self that we, yes, it's our self that we see without our flaws. You know, ourself, if we didn't have, for those who don't like the color of their skin, ourselves, if we weren't that dark, if we didn't have this much stretch marks, if our breast didn't fall down, if we had a longer appendage, all these things is what we consider our ideal selves, ourselves without our flaws. And that's why for females, the plastic surgery, or that form of medical application, is a multi-million-dollar industry, because we seem to change what we don't like or what we consider flaws about ourselves. And for males, and for most males, it's the skin bleaching and the material stuff, what we don't have, but we think if we have, would have been our ideal self. But I do agree with the psychologist Carl Rogers when he says our ideal self and our self with who we see ourselves as does not align. That's where we have self-esteem issues, because we do not see ourselves in that perfect sense that we want to see ourselves. And also agree when he says most of our self-esteem issues is rooted in problems and discrepancies with our parents when love is not being shown unconditionally. And I'll go more into that on a later episode. So going back to it, our flaws and the stuff that we can't change about ourselves innately makes we who we are. For example, a girl who can sing, they don't normally lose their ability to sing. But if you change her appearances and her behaviors, she still can sing, because she just naturally can sing. You know, over time, she can't hit that vocal range as she used to, but she can still sing, and that is when you need to love yourself most, because none of us will be young forever. We all get old, and as we get old, our body changes. It's not what it used to be when we were younger, and we need that self-love, and no amount of plastic surgery and any form of surgery will correct your age. So those who doing or admire persons who do plastic surgery as females, whether they have, you know what they do, whether they do their breast or their buttocks, when they're old, it still is a old butt, and it still is a old breast, and it will eventually drop. So you gotta love yourself. and know that these things will happen and adjust. Other things we can't change about ourselves is our things that make us who we are. For example, I'm going to switch to my Jamaican accent. Like a girl who is just normally sensitive, like she just normally sensitive. You know, like if you talk to her too hard or anything, she will just cry or stuff. You know, or she feel a way about it. She just normally sensitive. Yes, she can, try to mask the effects it have, but she still feel a way about it because that's just who she is. Or a person who just normally loud, like them just, no matter what, them just always know they say them can't quiet down, but that's just who they are. Them just naturally loud. Just normally loud. Or somebody is just innately funny. Even when them serious, people still laugh, people still take them funny when them serious. Them just have that to them. Or talents are like for men, They also have men who can sing as well, but they also have men just naturally skilled in playing football. Them just have that innate talent to be skilled them better than them peers at it. So them just have that natural ability, and these are the things that we cannot change about ourselves. And or flaws, or whatever we consider our flaws, is what actually makes us different, and we need to love ourselves for them as well. Whether for most men who have in their head a less than ideal appendage, you gotta love yourself for that, because that is you and you cannot change that about yourself. So you gotta love yourself for that. And the woman with the stretch marks, you gotta love yourself. There's nothing wrong with it. It's natural. These are natural stuff that happens, and we need to appreciate them and know that they are natural. And don't let society make you think that you are not normal or these things are less desirable because of the girl on the magazine who seems to have flawless skin, when all those photos are edited and airbrushed and fixed up in front of a computer to make it look like it's perfect. None of those females look the way they look in real life. So you can't judge beauty based off those things. And that's also why the thing that women do, that beauty, makeup and those things, is also a multi-million-dollar industry as well. Because they sell a perfect image to make it look like, say, if you use this, you look this way, when that's not the truth. Even if you do look that way, underneath all that makeup and that foundation and all that stuff, you know how you look. And that's what gets you, and that's what gets you, even though you think you look picture perfect on the outside, you know what's underneath. So yeah, I love what's underneath. Because in most times and at the end, when you get older, because all of us will get older, that is what matters, what's on the inside, not the physical appearance. A lot of people suffer from self-esteem issues, and it's a normal issue that we're having, but we should seek therapy to deal with this. I know a lot of Jamaicans don't like to hear that. They like to tell themselves that them not tell people them problem, and the foolishness, the garbage that is fed through mainstream media that you should hold out and you got yourself, but that's untrue. humans are innately social creatures, and I said this in my first episode. That's why criminals avoid solitary confinement, because they do not have anyone to interact with. And when any human goes for too long without any human interaction or even anything to interact with, they tend to lose their sanity. So our problems, when we're having problems, we should seek professional help most of the time to talk out these issues or help us get through these issues and these trauma that even sometimes coming from childhood. We have too many broken people walking around in our society thinking that they're fine because they're keeping stuff to themselves and them are hold it and not hold it. Them go through. You should seek help to help you get through these stuff. Unless you're gonna always keep broken, you're always gonna stay broken, and you're not going to be in any form of any successful relationship with all those trauma, because anyone, at some point, everyone is going to leave you because they can't deal with your shit. Basically, and you got a lot of baggage, and you need to work through that trauma and fix yourself first before you can have a relationship successful with anyone. It's taboo, or it's not normalized to seek professional help here in Jamaica, but it's necessary for a lot of people. And that's why a lot of Jamaicans suffer from mental illnesses, that they do not know it because of what they keep in or what they keep bottled up. And that's not okay. It's normal to have mental health issues, and it's normal to seek therapy. And we all know the issues that we have. We should seek therapy. Instead of trying to talk to a friend or who we consider a friend, and then we hear our business, seek professional help. There, it's protected by attorney-client privilege. My apologies. So they can't even tell anyone about it, and if they do, they can lose their license. So why not talk to them about it? Where the conversation is protected by law, them can't say nothing about it. They choose to talk to a friend. So most of these problems that we have is self-inflicted. We create a lot of these problems for ourselves. And that's all of these stuff tying to further demoralize us. And that's why a lot of us have self-esteem issues. And to combat these self-esteem issues, because we don't seek professional help, none of us tie a lot of external materialistic things to our identity to say that's what makes us who we are, when it's not. So for the man, it's the house and the car and the pretty girl on the car front seat. And for the woman, it's the big butt or the plump breasts, the small waist. The rich man or whoever it is, we tie these material things to our identity to say this is who we are. Or for some people, these things are the family. A family, but that's not who we are. We need to find out who we are, and a lot of cases when these things are seek to leave us. For example, the girl who decides to leave you because you have issues, fear of abandonment because you weren't properly loved by your mother, because it was conditioned, and I'm going to go into that into another episode. The person seek at anything or stops at anything to make the girl stay, anything to keep the house, to keep the car, anything, because they say these things are who they are. So what are they without these things? And in most cases, not all, most cases, this is why the men who does are hurt their partner, of their partner, kill their partner, or women. It's a lot of cases because of these issues, because who are they without her? Who are they without the house? Who are they without the car? Their identity is tied to all these things, and they can't function without these things, because if they do not have these things, these material things that society tell them that they should have, they go back to being someone of low value and valueless. So it's about anything to keep these things intact, whether if it's the female that is cheating on them, they take it, or whether it's for the female who is in the relationship and sees the family, the female who's been abused by her husband, and she still seeks to still stays with him, and say they have to work out even when time as she wanna do everything, and say whatever it is, because she tied her identity to marriage, and if she decides to leave him, them will laugh at her, and she can't have that because offers low self-value. So she rather stay in the toxicity and take that, because the marriage and the wedding ring is a part of her identity, or she chose to put that as a part of her identity. So we have to learn how to value ourselves and love ourselves, for us and for others to see that love. Because one time a person values themselves, you will know they normally don't take disrespect. Not to say they're being disrespectful, but they rather remove themselves from disrespectful situations. And you can tell when someone values themselves, and you got to value yourself for you and for other persons to see that value, and so they will value you as well. So there's a song by Bruno Mars and Silk Sonic, I think. Yes, there's a song that they sing. So I'm gonna reference it. If you are not being valued in the situation, or in whatever it is you're in, whether it's work, whether it's a business relationship, whether it's an intimate relationship, you should remove yourself from that relationship. And like the song says, anyone who does not value you or does not see your value, you should leave that door open, like Bruno Mars, so they can walk right out of your life. And trust me, you'll be better for it. For women struggling with their identity and self-esteem issues, and how to love themselves while you seek professional help, there's a song that can help you get through it. It's a song by J. Cole. It's called Crooked Smile. I'm going to try to link it down below. And for men, well, there's no song there that I know of, because we know society don't take men's health really very seriously, and it's not really what is pushed in the media. So I don't have a song for that. But while you seek professional help, you can, yes, I'm gonna set up a service where persons can send a set up a service where we can talk freely and I can help persons get through their issue to find their best self and how to learn to love themselves and accept themselves for who they are. So thank you for tuning in to episode 2, Deception and Introspection. Subscribe and click the bell icon so you can get notified anytime I make a next video. Thank you for watching.
Yo, that nigga.